welcome to the podcast where my thoughts disrobe and I get naked with you on life and its lessons. I'm Jessica, your host of Disrobe Thoughts. Not gonna lie to you, I did that 3 times, and then I talked about how I did it twice and thought I should re-record, and here I am the 3rd time talking about it again. I'm so nervous tonight. I don't know why. I thought episode 1 would be out of the way. I'd be good. I went to a poetry night, you guys. I read my poetry on stage in front of a bunch of strangers and a really good friend. And, for me, sometimes it's almost worse sharing my feelings with, people I know. If I knew people I know listen to this podcast, I would be more mortified than people I don't know. Why? I don't know. I should be more comfortable with people that I know, but I think it all ties in with what I want to talk about today. Caring what other people think a little too much. I've always been someone who has always told everybody, don't care what they think, fuck them. They don't like you for who you are. They're not your people. They're not your friend. They're not someone you need in your life. But then turning that around on myself, oh, you guys, it's so much harder. Always harder to take your own advice. I know there are definitely some people out here who get that. And so I don't care to an extent. There are some things that I fully do not give any fucks about. And you're just going to have to fucking deal with who I am. That's that. But then there are those situations in which I do care what other people think. I do care about other people's opinions of me and things like that. Part of what sparked the idea for this episode was that the other day I waited on a couple who ended up leaving me a note that said, "We understand that you have more than one job. You bartend, you do takeouts, and you're waiting on tables. We felt like an afterthought. But because you were busy and you were working hard, we're tipping you anyways." And that had so many, in that moment, I just wanted to cry. A couple of my, a set of regulars who have thrown croutons at my forehead, and a couple other people who I have had issues with in the past had come in that night. And so it was already kind of one of those nights where I was like, man, just working through it, It wasn't anything crazy. I didn't feel particularly bad about anything. It just was one of those moments where you're like, oh, hey, I gotta see a lot of people I don't particularly like. And I just gotta work through it. Whatever. Everyone was actually really nice, really cool that night. I had some fun with a few of them. And then I got this note, and all I wanted to do was cry. So my only other option was to be angry, because if I wasn't angry, I was going to cry. But what I really wanted to do was cry. I didn't want to be angry. I wanted to cry. You guys, I felt so stupid. I was more mad that I wanted to cry because these people didn't think that, they thought they were an afterthought. And I don't know what that means. They had everything, all their drinks, all their sauces, everything they could have possibly asked for. They got it right away. They didn't have to wait for anything. And so I'm not exactly sure why these people felt like they were an afterthought. The only thing I can think of is maybe they wanted to chit chat a little bit more than I had time for. And I had to really remind myself that I am not responsible for their feelings. They are not responsible for mine. So they are not responsible for making me want to cry in the middle of my shift. Because I take my job very seriously. I do love what I do. I genuinely do love what I do. And I enjoy making people feel good about their dining experience. At the end, if they had fun, if they had a nice time, if they enjoyed their meal, that is the part I really enjoy. And the fact that somebody thought I didn't, I didn't give that to them. I know I'm not going to give that to every single person. Not everyone's looking for that. But the fact that they felt like they had to go out of their way to tell me that they didn't feel like I took great enough care of them, that they were an afterthought, was like just heartbreaking to me. It hit like my perfectionism, it hit my people pleasing. You guys, it's those things that I work so hard on to not be doing. Yes, I still people please. Yes, I still perfectionize sometimes. Perfectionize, sure. And but like it hit a little bit home on the I guess on the people pleasing perfectionism triggering front. And I really had to remind myself, those are my issues with myself. This note does not matter. Their opinions do not matter because I know I did a good job. And I'm not going to please everybody. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. And I know from experience that a lot of people, even if they feel like they were a quote unquote afterthought, when they have somebody else wait on them, a lot of times they come back and they're like, can we just start asking for you? And I'm like, I don't think we liked each other. Like, you were mean to me last time. I thought we were like not happy with each other. And then I find out that someone else waited on them and they liked me better. It is what it is. So, we'll see what happens with these people if they come in again and sit in my section again. Who knows? They'll probably request not my area, and that is fine. But I also really, really had to remind myself that they probably have some trauma in the neglect, abandonment area of life, and they are looking for being they're looking for more outside of themselves. And so, hurt people, and that's just really what I got from that. And who knows, maybe I treat all my people as an afterthought. The amount of regulars I have, I don't feel like that's true. But if I do, I apologize, not my intention. But that was it was a really hard moment for me because I am working on not caring what people think about me and not caring what people really recognizing I'm not everybody's cup of tea. Several months back, I found out a friend of mine didn't actually like me. They actually hate my guts. They hate my actual guts. These things that are inside of me, they hate them. They hate everything about me right down to my core. I can't tell you why. I have no idea. Nobody has been able to explain it to me. I could ask, but I don't really feel like that conversation would be very productive. And it was not worth my time. Once I found out how fake they were to me, they were very fake to my face. To my face, we were chill. We were cool. I thought we were friends. Friends, you guys, not even acquaintances, actual friends. And then I found out how much they hated me. And I was heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken. And I sat there realizing how much I cared about what they thought about me. And there were actually things that I did differently than I would have normally done because I cared about their opinion. Because their opinion was different from my own. And I regret it. I do. Because one, they were not my friend. They didn't have my best interest in mind or at heart. And they were not they don't like me, so it didn't matter. And it shouldn't have mattered. That's like the best part. It shouldn't have fucking mattered at all. And that's like the hardest thing. I don't know who else out there really feels like that. Like, the hardest thing is taking that advice that I would have given any of my friends. They don't like you, fuck them. You deserve different. Not better, not worse, different. They are their own person. They can go find their own fucking friends that they like. I don't have to change who I am so that they like me. And so this was something that I like, that's the advice I would have given myself. And here I am, not having taken it for however long. But also, that's part of people pleasing. You want to make sure, like, you want to make everyone like you. I don't want everyone to like me. There are a lot of you that are probably listening to this and have probably shut it off by now. And that's okay. I don't need everybody to like me. But it's really hard not to need everybody to like me. I have another friend who, like, I have no idea why they don't like me, but I know for a fact they don't like me anymore. And that's okay. It is totally okay. We don't fuck it. You don't have to like me. And I don't have to know why you don't like me. That's also okay. I guess what I prefer is to know that you don't like me. There's this girl who did not respect my boundaries. And I fully do not like her at all. Not at all. Not remotely. I probably never will. She is disrespectful. She is not kind. She's catty. She's rude. I don't appreciate any of that. Drama. She is drama times a million. I don't appreciate any of that. I don't need that in my space. I don't need that in my life. But she doesn't like me either, you guys. She hates my guts. Absolutely hates my guts. Talks a lot of trash about me. And I like knowing that we don't like each other. She has never been fake to me. She doesn't say hi to me. She doesn't say goodbye to me. She doesn't speak words to me unless she has to. And same. We're on the same page on that. I appreciate that. I like it when I mutually dislike somebody, when it's mutual dislike. And not you dislike me, but you're pretending to be my friend. That is where I have an issue. And I think it's just because, like, I think it's because I like you and I think you like me and I want you to like me. But because I think you like me, I think we're there. And then it just hits home and it hurts a little bit more. I feel like I've tangented and I don't know if I make sense anymore. But that was something that was really hard for me this week. And I was really sad and hurt and upset at first over something so dumb. I was so angry at myself. But you guys, you have to give yourself compassion. That's something that I've also really learned in the last couple of months and have been really working on, giving myself a lot of compassion for being human. I don't know when I found that out. I'm human. I'm not a robot. It was actually pretty recent, a few years back, I'd say. And you got to give yourself some grace. You got to forgive yourself. You got to give yourself some compassion because these are human emotions and they fucking suck. They suck sometimes. But I really worked them out. I always try to take things like, okay, first and foremost, how am I feeling about the situation? Where am I coming from? What am I feeling? I felt hurt. I felt like a failure. Like I failed these people. I felt completely crushed. Um, and then once I feel those feelings, and then I felt angry because I felt that way. And then once I feel those feelings, I sit down and think about, and a lot of times I think about the surface level. Okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Oh God, I saw something today. Where was it? What did I do wrong? Man, I don't remember where it was. But I saw something today that said something to the effect of like, always think about like what I did wrong. Oh, I did post it. I did post it to the Disrobe Thoughts page. I'm gonna pull it up. Um I oh I didn't. I didn't. That's okay. Um I swear I saw something somewhere about something thinking about what you did wrong and stop thinking about what you did wrong and start thinking about why they might have felt that way. And when I do, and I always do try to, I start with what did I do wrong? Did I fuck up? Was there a reason they felt this way on the surface level? No. Then I think to what must have happened in their life that they felt that way. What are they not getting out of their lives, out of their relationships, out of their friendships, out of their childhood, that made them feel like a stranger who gave them good service, who made sure they had what they need, um, treated them as if they were an afterthought. And that is where I could find compassion for the situation. Um, and so I have a lot of relationships that have kind of fallen apart and in their own way, in their own time, be there a reason on either end or not. But I truly believe that at some point in time, sometimes those things come in and out of your life to remind you of certain things. I think this situation came into my life to remind me that one, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, a little bit of a people pleaser. I'm still working on these things. I'm still growing. I'm still learning. I'm still moving through it. And two, it's just like a reminder that hurt people hurt people. And man, it's so hard. I've had such a couple of I've had like a rough year of hurt people. And where some very hurt people do some very hurtful things, whether they or not they realize it, whether they recognize what they're doing is not something that a friend would actually do. And yet they still try to call themselves my friend. And I am still learning to find compassion for their hurt. That's really hard. It's really hard when they're doing things purposely to hurt you. It's really hard. They say hurtful things, they post hurtful things, they do hurtful things. It's hard to get past that, and look at the hurt person underneath those posts, those comments, those actions. And I'm working on it. It's a work in progress. Really, I really find for myself. Journaling helps. Poetry, writing poetry helps. Man, do I love these poetry nights. Atrium in Fort Collins does slam poetry nights. Slam poetry is actually different than what they do. They do an open mic poetry night. Tongue twister. Slam poetry nights are more of a contest, and there are judges and everything. This is a little bit more open and just up for anyone and everyone to read and be brave and express themselves. And one of the things that the host, Booger is his name, said tonight was that he loves and appreciates how much courage it takes to go up there and speak a piece of your soul. And I think that's what really has drawn me to poetry, is I'm not great with being disrobed or naked or completely honest and upfront about my feelings and my emotions and my thoughts and my hurt and my pain. And poetry gives me an outlet to heal from these situations and from other situations, and to celebrate some stuff and be grateful for other things. And I really like it. And I love being at these nights because, man, do we all have a lot to say, and we all have a lot more going on in here than meets the eye. I said something on the topic of caring about what other people think of you. A friend of mine, her and I were talking tonight about well, like parents and things you didn't know about your parents, and that kind of reminded me of things I didn't know, other people don't know about me. My parents don't know. I don't think they know that I write poetry. I don't think they know that I like that I have emotions other than happiness, or middle. What is middle emotion? Emotion, no emotion. I have always been pretty emotionless, or a private crier, if you will. I prefer to cry in my bedroom, in the shower, in the car, anywhere nobody else is. There have been a few times in my life where I've broken down in front of other people, in front of my parents or my family. And, but, I mean, when my parents got divorced, everyone was really worried about me because I was the only one who was just cool. I had no emotion about it. And I found out later, my aunt was telling me how worried and concerned they were about me. And I remember going to the counselor, and I assumed that it was something that they all did, the elementary school did for all the students whose parents get divorced. They send them to the counselor, school counselor, to chat about it 1 or 2 times, make sure they're good and whatever. And I don't know if there's more to that or not. I have never asked. I've never found out. But I've never felt comfortable expressing some of these deeper emotions to my family because I don't want them to worry about me. Because there's nothing to worry about. We all have deep emotions. And we all have deep feelings, and we all have deep hurt. And I think that when you care so much about someone, sometimes you worry that deep hurt and that deep emotion is more concerning, I guess, than it should be. And I think I've always taken that to heart, and we've never really truly expressed myself like this before. because I cared so much about what my parents thought about me. I cared that, like, I wanted them to think that I was a good kid, that I had good grades, that I did well in school, that I was a good big sister. I wanted them to think good things about me because I wanted them to love me. Oh, that's hard, huh? That's some thoughts. um, maybe for another podcast we'll talk unconditional love and feeling that, but that's how I felt. That's how I felt growing up. Now I know my parents love me, and I know my parents love me no matter what, and um they know I love them no matter what. But I think there was always a part of them, I know there was a part of them that were surprised at how families there for each other no matter what. And I know that is generational trauma, ancestral trauma. In generational trauma? Yeah. I know that's got to be that, because there's no other reason for it. There just have been things that I've done for my family, and they're like, why would you do this for me? They offered to pay me, they offered to do things like in return, or I can't repay you, I can't pay you for this, I can't do this for you. And I'm like, I don't care. This is what family does for family. I didn't want any payment, I didn't want anything in return. And they're always so surprised. Then I never understood why they were so surprised. I'm like, I love you. I care about you. I want to help you. And so, but it's funny how those things still, even though you don't see them necessarily, I didn't recognize that I did not feel unconditionally loved for a larger part of all my life. Up until recently. And so I don't think that I think that sometimes those are things that kind of slip under the cracks. You just don't always notice them. Part of self-awareness and growth, right? Digging into your past trauma. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot else to say. But that my caring about what other people think comes from childhood. And it is nobody's fault. I want to make that very clear. It is nobody's fault. I'm not blaming anybody. It is my own bullshit to work on. And I am working on it, and I'm working through it. That is the growth topic of the day, of the week. Fuck of the years, all the years. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on your own issues with wanting people to like you, with caring a little bit too much about what other people think. And yeah, thank you for listening. I really appreciate you all. Send me an email if you want, disrobethoughts@gmail.com. Visit my website, disrobethoughts.com. Facebook, disrobethoughts.com, Instagram, disrobethoughts.com. If there's a place you'd like to listen that I am not on, please let me know. Apple Podcasts always takes a little extra time. Always takes extra time to come up. But I am on Google Podcasts is live. I realized just the other day I'm not on Amazon Podcasts. I will hop on that, as well as... no, I'm also on YouTube. I am on there. A video didn't seem to pop up the other day. I'll fix it. But I am on all the things. And you can go to my website, disrobethoughts.com, and click on the YouTube video. It should work. It wasn't the other day, but it should be now. So anyway, I want to thank you all again. I hope you all have a beautiful week, and I will see you next time. Bye.